Grigory Rasputin was born in 1869 in the village of Pokrovskoye, Russia. He spent his childhood in Siberia under harsh weather conditions. With his tall stature and deep blue eyes, he began attracting attention from a very young age. What was even more interesting was this: all of Grigory Rasputin's predictions and visions mysteriously came true. Even in those early years, he began to astonish people. One of the most striking events of his childhood happened when a horse was stolen from his father's farm. Despite not seeing the thief, Rasputin named the person who stole it. Although his father did not fully believe him and did not want to accuse anyone unfairly, the thief later came forward and confessed after this incident. His family and everyone around him began to believe that Rasputin possessed supernatural powers. Leaving his childhood behind, Rasputin was sent to a monastery to receive religious education. During his time there, he displayed his unusual abilities and quickly became a monk. After joining the monastery's spiritual council, Rasputin began traveling across Russia. He traveled throughout Russia, the Balkans, Italy, and Greece, and even went as far as Jerusalem to give sermons. But what truly set him apart from others were his prophecies. As his predictions began coming true one by one, his popularity grew rapidly. This brought him closer to a major turning point not only for his own life, but for the fate of Imperial Russia itself. In 1904, Rasputin learned that Tsar Nicholas II's young son, Alexei, suffered from hemophilia. He claimed that only he could cure the child. With this belief, Rasputin entered aristocratic circles in the city. Through persuasive speeches, he convinced nobles and increased his fame even more. He began holding gatherings with noble women, performing rituals and ceremonies. By influencing them deeply, he gained a powerful presence in St. Petersburg. His fame grew so large that in a sermon he gave in 1905, he spoke about the First World War and the Bolshevik Revolution, and once again, his prophecies proved accurate. After this, the palace doors opened to him through sermons delivered to high society in St. Petersburg. Rasputin's name spread rapidly from ear to ear. He became the most talked about man in Russia eventually. He told Tsarina Alexandra that only he could heal Alexei's illness. At her request, Rasputin was summoned to the palace. At the palace, Rasputin saw Alexei and the doctors attending him. At that time, there was no cure for hemophilia. Doctors were giving Alexei aspirin-like medicine, which actually worsened the bleeding. Rasputin demanded that all medications be stopped and that no doctors interfere. Because his past prophecies had come true, the Tsarina trusted him completely. From that moment on, whatever Grigory Rasputin said was done. He claimed he would heal Alexei using herbs he prepared himself and performed rituals alone. In the boy's room, after the medications were stopped, the bleeding ceased. This strengthened the Tsarina's belief that Rasputin was holy. She ordered that Rasputin's words be treated as commands. Rasputin became so powerful inside the palace that his opinion was sought on daily affairs, foreign policy, and even family matters. Especially the Tsarina fell entirely under his influence. This deeply angered nobles and priests, who believed Rasputin was nothing more than a fraud. Unaware of it, Rasputin was drawing closer to death. One day, Prince Felix Yusupov invited Rasputin to a gathering, asking to meet privately beforehand. He led Rasputin down to a basement room in his mansion. Lavish refreshments were prepared. Cakes and wine laced with cyanide were served to Rasputin. As Rasputin ate the poisoned pastries and drank the wine, nothing happened. Panicked, Prince Yusupov went to the next room where his accomplices believed to include British agents were. According to theory, these agents provided Yusupov with a gun and told him to finish the job. Yusupov returned to the room and shot Rasputin twice. Rasputin collapsed to the floor. Believing him dead, Yusupov called the others to see the body. But when they entered the room, Rasputin suddenly stood up and attacked the prince. Everyone froze in shock despite having bullet wounds and bleeding heavily. Rasputin was still alive, thinking he was immortal. They watched in horror as Rasputin ran out into the garden. They chased him and fired several more shots until he finally collapsed to be certain. They tied his hands and threw his body into the Neva River. Days later, his body washed ashore. One of his hands had broken free from the ropes. An autopsy later revealed the truth. Grigory Rasputin had drowned. But bullets did not kill him, so why was Rasputin killed? British agents' diaries later revealed that Rasputin's assassination was planned. British intelligence documents confirmed this, describing Rasputin as a man connected to dark forces. The British War Office admitted it had ordered his death at the time. Rasputin was one of the strongest anti-war voices within the government and royal court. He pressured the Tsar to withdraw Russia from the war, calling it pointless and warning that Russia would suffer greatly. He even predicted that socialists would rise to power, knowing Russia had to remain in the war. British intelligence conspired with Rasputin's enemies and ensured his death from within. Though Rasputin was known as a prophet, a drunkard, and a morally corrupt figure, the British were unwilling to take the risk. But what if Rasputin had lived? What if Russia had withdrawn from the war? How would the outcome of World War I have changed? And which empires now erased from history might still be standing today?